Hi, y'all. I'm Allison. It's time to proceed to our next stop in From Below by Darcy Coates. I am so excited to get back into it and nervous all at the same time. I have a feeling it's really going to skyrocket today because next time we'll actually be finishing the book. So, yeah. First things first, we got to make sure everybody's in the right spot so you don't get accidental spoilers. We want all of our spoilers to be intentional after all. So if you've read ahead, then you should have reached page 400 in the paperback, last page of chapter 53, and the line was something shifted above the ship. If you've reached that point, you are definitely in the right spot. And if you plan reading along with me today, then you should be starting out at the very beginning of chapter 46, which was on the third dive. Page 337 if you're in the paperback. So, before we start reading, do a little quick check-in. Wanda had a really good point that I wanted to share with y'all that didn't even occur to me. She was wondering, what if Roy and Aiden are treasure hunters? Because that would explain why Roy keeps touching and disturbing everything. You know, if he's there to kind of like scout out the ship to see if it's worth coming back for a salvage trip, that could be explaining a lot of Roy's behavior. And, you know, if Aiden is in on his little scheme, it would also explain why he got such a vested interest in Aiden. So I really like that theory. So much potential with that. So we'll see if Wanda's right. I don't know if it'll come out today or at the end. I don't know, but I want to know what's going to happen, especially with Devereaux. Everybody's pretty much got their eye on him. Because what in the world is he doing asking Aiden to bring that back? A piece of fabric was the last thing I expected Aiden to be going for. So I would say Devereaux's definitely got some background knowledge that the rest aren't aware of, and he's looking for something specific. So there must be something really distinctive about this fabric that would tell Devereaux if this is the right haul that he's looking for. So I don't know, maybe some bags full of gold went down with the ship or something like that, and they were in a specially made kind of bag or something, because it did have a logo on it. So I have no idea, but I really want to find out what's going on with that. And I'm hoping we get the answers for it today, but I'm kind of doubtful that we will. It'll probably be during our last stop. And something clicked for me last night. We've been bemoaning Aiden's lack of experience and everything and all the mistakes he's making, because it seems for mostly it's because he's just a people pleaser. He doesn't want to let anybody down. But he is pivotal to this book, because if you think back on the first dive, he was down to like 6% oxygen. Same thing happened on the second. You know, he was panicking while they were down below and whatnot. And when they're chewing through their oxygen tanks like that, the tanks emit more oxygen because it has to purge itself. So Aiden's panic probably is what kickstarted everything. He was releasing a lot more oxygen than the others. So I would say that his panic is what put enough of the oxygen into that sterile environment that started waking all the bodies that are on that ship. So whether he knows it or not, I think Aiden was the catalyst that caused all of it. And the other thing with Aiden, it gives somebody a vulnerable, you know, it distracts you. You're so focused on Aiden and whether he's going to put everybody in more jeopardy or something bad's going to happen to him just because of his inexperience, that, you know, you kind of momentarily forget what's on board this ship. So actually, I think Aiden's character is really pivotal to everything. He kind of serves as a distraction and the catalyst for everything coming together. And with his age and his vulnerability, even though you get irritated by what he does, you still secretly are rooting for him. So as far as a character, I find him fascinating. Doesn't mean I don't want to whop him upside the head for some of his bad decisions, but I think he's crucial to everything. Before we move into the other room, I want to give a little shout out to Wanda and ask everybody to join me in congratulating her because they are closing on their house on February 21st. So congratulations, Wanda, and I wish you a smooth sailing on your move. Oh, well, maybe not sailing. Well, I hope you have a textbook move. Everything goes well. All right, I am running behind schedule because it's Monday morning and this video should go up in 3 hours. I haven't started reading. I got to edit, got to upload. It's going to go up late, which means I don't have any time to waste. So let's move into the next room and get this started. Find out what's going to happen in our 63 pages for today. Can't wait. This is going to be a good way to start the morning. Okay, let's move. Well, we're off to a real auspicious start. I just discovered I didn't turn on my microphone during the last part, so sorry about the audio, y'all, but we're just gonna run with it. Yeah, Lily is pushing me into the back corner. Let's see if I can get my book. And by the way, thank you for all of the people who were reading and watching silently, for speaking up and letting me know you were out there. So I was getting a little nervous. The analytics on these videos are always all over the place. I think because people come in to check the comments and respond to other people. So I kind of rely on the comments to let me know how many of y'all are actually watching and reading, as opposed to people who just open the video and leave and don't bother to go any further. So that was where my concern came from last time. Okay. Oh, and the only other thing I wanted to address, I would have read this on Sunday, but that's my husband's one day of the week that he has off. And he's working on a woodworking project for our second oldest. And he was using all of the power tools yesterday. And there was no way I was going to ask him to not work on his project on his one day off. So it just didn't work out that I could turn on my camera yesterday. So here we are today trying to kind of make up for last time, but it's okay. I'm sure y'all would agree with that the poor man needed his day to do his thing and relax. So now if you are following our new format and actually reading along with me, pausing the video as you go, then you're going to want to go ahead and start reading. We're on chapter, 54? And whenever you see a page number up here in the corner, you're going to want to get to that end of that page, and then it will be safe to resume the video because I will not discuss anything past that point. I hope that made sense. Okay, let's finally start reading. Lily's not giving me much space. Okay, we didn't go far at all because the first paragraph, I wish I had made that, the magical paragraph. The wardrobe door tees itself open in increments. Oh, we are hitting the ground running right from the get-go. And yeah, for those of you who are reading this at night, and I know there's quite a few, I don't know how you do it. I just would be jumping out of my skin. But we're definitely starting out full force, and Cove has finally reached the point that we all are. Who cares about the ship? I get out of there and never go back. So it looks like she is now fully aware of the hell that they have stumbled into. We can't get the door open. Oh, I forgot about the ones in the hallway. Okay. Yeah, that's right. We're plunging right deep into it. So Cove and Roy are trying to get out. They've got the 4 bodies hovering in the hallway, and I guess they were hiding in a room, and that turned out to be a bad idea. And on the other side, we've got Vanna and Aiden down in the hold where Aiden just got that piece of fabric, and they're going to have to make their way out too. Okay. It's just, we're starting up here. Darcy Coates is incredibly good with imagery. This is terrifying, and them trying to get their way out. I think they're trying to go to the stairs, or I don't even know where they're trying to go. I think I would have had a heart attack if I was Cove or Roy and seeing all of this and finally realizing what they are trapped down there with. And it just occurred to me, don't forget, this is all silent. They can't hear movement around them. All they're hearing is, turns out that they've got static back in the audio, but other than hearing themselves breathe with some static, there is no sound to alert them that there's a new threat around the corner. And she's seeing all of these holes in the wall as they're going down the first class hallway. And she just saw a body in one with an eye that swiveled and looked at it. So I think it's going to click into place for her that all of these holes mean that was a body, and they are now, oh my God, terrifying. It's terrifying. Okay. You know, I may be using the video as a stall tactic because it's getting a little too scary. For those of y'all who are reading at night, I take off my hat to you because I don't know that I could have done it, at least without having bad dreams and being afraid to go to sleep. And I will never, ever go on a cruise. Could you imagine if you took this book on a cruise with you? I think I would probably toss it overboard. Okay. No more stalling. I'm back in. I forgot about all the messages on the wall, and to see they crawl about in the dark after you just witness all of this for the first time. Yeah, I would have had a heart attack right there. One of them got Roy. Oh, okay, the present day was scary enough, but now we're going to a flashback. The day before the sinking. Okay, so the people in the hospital are begging and wailing through the night because they want to be allowed to crawl into holes. And their noise attracts the creatures. And then the cries turn to shrieks of terror. So to keep them contained, they built the barricades around the hospital halls. Okay, so that's why we have furniture piled high everywhere. So to keep them contained, who are they trying to keep contained? The passengers? Or the others? Probably the passengers turned to others. It said, of course, it didn't stop them because the hallways are just shortcuts because they can travel through the walls. Yeah, everybody is doomed. I know, how would you keep your sanity knowing what was out there? I think I'd probably lose my mind before they even got to me, maybe one of them. I would be so out of it with fear. That scene with Harlan and Fitz. You know, the Fitz that is stuck in the wall, decomposing, trying to stop the water from getting in. And the boilers have been shut down because too many passengers had crawled inside seeking a hole to hide in their flesh, cooking off their bodies. Oh my God. I really hope we're going to get an explanation where these came from. How did this start? Is it the bag? Was there something in the bag that Devereaux had, sent Aiden for? I don't know. Okay. Okay, we finally have some insight into Devereaux. So he's been obsessed with the shipwreck since he was 12 years old. So it wasn't a coincidence. He's been waiting his whole life to get answers on this. And that's why he was poring over the footage so closely. So I like this. goes along with what we're thinking, that he must be aware of something with that shipwreck. Now to find out why he wanted that piece of fabric, and if he knows of any reasoning behind what's going on. Although I don't think any myths or legends would have gotten out about it, because all they had was those few distress calls. So I doubt he's aware that of all of the dangers that are down there. But who knows? Okay, that was... Yeah, we're in for trouble. Because it clicked to me last night. I saw my book sitting on the thing. On the back, no light, no air, no escape. I was like, okay, surely they're going to get out because we need the footage so people will know what happened down there, right? But Sean just got the audio working again. So now they can hear it. So there's no guarantee that they're going to get up. Watch Aiden be the only one so he can bring up that piece of fabric. I don't know. I don't want to speculate and ruin the ending by guessing too closely. You know, as he just gave her a little speech about the ship wanting her back, doesn't want any of them to leave. Well, it is not the ship necessarily, but the things inside of it. And then the comms come back on and Roy is screaming. Oh my God. Thought for sure Cove was a goner. I can't believe it pulled her mask off. I didn't think that they would be able to survive. I was mixing space with the ocean. I think with the cold and everything, I thought if there was like a little crack, it would be the same as out in space, that's that you're dead and a goner. But apparently there are procedures to follow if your mask slips. So she made sure the seal is firm, and then she purged, releasing how much oxygen, which would wake up how many more of them. At least they found out that light can stop them, but holy crap. This would make such an insanely good movie. They need to make this into a movie. Or is anybody listening to the audiobook? I bet the audiobook would be, oh, I'm almost afraid to turn the page. Okay. Oh my God. It was so intense. Aiden and Vanna trying to get out of the hold. And everything I've said about her before, you know, thinking that she wasn't being responsible enough with the group and whatnot as a dive instructor, I take it all back. She is phenomenal under pressure. She's not panicking. She's the only chance that Aiden has of getting out of there, because I wouldn't have been able to keep my cool as well as she is. Hats off to her, because she realizes she's got to conserve the light, tied them together, and she's just... Aiden may have a chance of getting out of there if they have enough air to actually decompress on the way up. I don't know. We don't know how much air they've got left, but at least Vanna's not panicking and she's keeping Aiden calm. Although they haven't run into quite the level of trouble that Roy and Cove have, but I still have a feeling that Vanna will be able to keep her wits about her. Oh. It's also smart of her to turn off the audio so they can better hear, or at least have a chance of hearing what's around them. So I'm not sure I would have thought of that or been brave enough to do that, because I would have been, I need to hear what Cove and Roy are doing. I don't know that I would have been brave enough to turn it off and cut myself off from everybody else like that. Okay. Let's see if they can get out of here. Okay, that was close, but they made it. At least they're out into the hallway, which I doubt it's going to be any better there. Oh, no. We've got a flashback. It's still the day before. I'm afraid to read the end of this book. What the hell? I just had their meeting with the captain, the dead captain. And it looks like Harlan might be starting to succumb to it because he can hear the whispers now. The whispers saying that they're supposed to dig. They're supposed to dig and dig deeper and not stop until the others were uncovered. And maybe not even then. I don't know what to make of that. I would assume the captain is making sure that everybody is going to become an other. And that's why they're digging, to make it easier, release them so it can get to everybody. I don't know what to make of the scene, although it was so creepy with the captain being tied to the chair. And I think he's the only one where there's mention of blood. It's been a couple of times now where the captain had blood on his sleeves or he was bleeding, and now he's, bleeding out on his clothes. And like I said, I think he's the only one with blood. So is there something significant with the captain? Was he like the catalyst for everything that happened on the ship? I really hope we find out the cause for all of this, and it's not just going to be some unknown mystery of what got a hold of this ship. Okay, I need a Diet Coke or something. So, maybe I just need a little break. It's so much. So I will be back in just a moment. Okay. I'm going to go back into it. Back to present day. We're switching over to Cove and Roy. That's right. Nobody knows that Aiden and Vanna actually went all the way down to the hold. They think that they're up on the same level over by the smoking room. So they have no idea how far those two have to travel to get out. Okay, so they don't seem to have as far to go. They only have to go through the writing room, into the lounge, and out through the hole. So provided that once you're clear of the ship, you're safe. And I was wrong. Apparently they can hear because, she's talking about the clicking sound. She can hear those. So before, what I was imagining all of this was happening in like a void of silence, I was off on that. Although I would assume it would definitely be muffled, but still loud enough that they can hear it. That loud noise raising from the ship, so loud it loosened more sediment. And she said, the ship's waking up. Roy and Cove are being driven further into the ship, and they were getting so close. And of course, the dive line for Aiden and Vanna to follow out has been severed, so they don't have that to guide them on their way out. They've got to go closer to the boiler rooms where we know a bunch of them were hiding. So I didn't realize that it should only be 10 minutes if they don't run into any obstacles. It seems like it would just take hours to get out from where they are. Oh my God. That scene with Aiden, with him dragging him down and him trying to undo the knot and ready to give up. I didn't think there was going to be a way out of that. And again, Vanna saves the day. She is a badass. I didn't know that they would be able to survive with if their suit ripped like that. Again, I don't know why I was applying space to underwater. I guess because they're both so foreign and scary to me. But I assumed, if their suits ripped, that instant death, if their mask came off, instant death. But that's obviously not the case. But it's definitely going to make things very hard for Aiden because, as he said, he's losing all of his body heat with that cold water being in his suit. At least it looks like Vanna got it. The leak is stemmed for now. We will see, but That was intense. I thought for sure Aiden was going to be the one. I thought he was going to be the first one to die. And in the back of my mind, it's like, but he's got the fabric and we have to know what that is. So how are we going to find out if Aiden doesn't make it to the surface? Because I really want to know what's going on with that. Again, thank God for Vanna. I bet she was the only one that would be able to save him like that. Although maybe Cove. It seems she has more experience than I realized from just witnessing her and Roy in the last portion. But dang, that was intense. It seems like out of everybody, Roy is the one who's panicking the most. Even with all of the trouble that Aiden has going on, it seems like he's kind of pretty much holding it together really well. And Roy is just the one who's barreling ahead and panicking. Although that does fit with his personality, what we've seen before. He seems to be one to act first and think about it later. But, oh, I wouldn't want to be any of them. And oh my God. Cove and Roy just escaped across the pool of bodies, and they're hiding in the changing room by the swimming pool. And she just looked down at her dive computer for the first time. She's at 12% oxygen. That's not enough to get out for the decompression. Although they do have their backup tanks. But that's the first time we've gotten to see what anybody's oxygen tank is at. Because you know they are burning through that stuff, and all of their panic and their struggles and their fights. I can't imagine anybody's tank is at a better spot than hers. Yeah, there's not enough air to reach the surface. But, you know, at least if they drowned away from the ship, then hopefully they wouldn't suffer the same fate as these bodies that are left down there. I guess maybe that's all they can hope for, because she just came to the realization that they're not trying to necessarily hurt them or eat them or anything. They just want them to become one of them. They want them to be trapped and stay down there. Oh. So it looks like just when Cove was about to give up, thinking there was no chance for her to survive this, in fact, going so far as to telling those on the surface to never ever let anybody come examine this wreck again. It looks like there's a way out. They might be able to go through the hole. So maybe using their reserve tanks, they have a chance. I don't know, but at least there's a slight glimmer of a chance. Oh, and now we're going to the sinking of the Arcadia. So, okay, let's find out what happened. Okay, that was actually kind of calm for a flashback. But it looks like all their digging and the burrowing in the hole in the walls and everything, that's what actually caused the ship to sink. And that's just mind-boggling. And I don't know why, but I feel like there's some sort of significance to where Harlan ended up. You know, he's just on the carpeted floor, I think underneath the dining room table. It seems like there's some significance to that. The fact that he didn't end up in a wall in a small little hole. I don't know. I like Harlan. I wished for a better end for him than becoming one of these others. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Okay, back to the present. Oh my God, I just reached the stop. And just like last time, it's at the perfect and the worst spot to stop. So Roy and Cove got out, and there was extra dive tanks that Vanna had planned ahead for us. So Roy is being sent up to the surface, and Cove is going to try and go back and find Aiden and Vanna. That was intense. I didn't think there was going to be any way for them to get out of there. But there's still two more that have to escape, and the horror of that.
I so want this to be turned into a movie. It would be incredible. Although I'd probably be too scared to watch it. Oh, so good. And now we've got to wait again. Get to finish it next time though. So there is no magical paragraph. We're going to go right up to the very end and hopefully get the last of our answers. At least now we do know without a doubt that Devereaux definitely had his own angle. He's been obsessed with this shipwreck since he was 12. And Sean is having none of this fantastical danger stuff. He doesn't want to hear what Hesse has to say about the ship being alive, and he wasn't listening to Roy either. So he's going to be really hard to convince. So I'm curious. Yeah, maybe once he, well, I don't think it'll be too hard to convince once he sees the footage. You can't really dispute that. So, oh, speaking of that, you know, we've all been talking about wanting to see the rear view cameras from the previous dives. I don't think that's necessary anymore. There's nothing that would have shown up on that would be more terrifying than what they just went through. So I doubt we'll actually see that rear footage. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see any point in it because this was terrifying. So wait until Sean and Devereaux see that. Okay, I am way behind schedule, as I mentioned earlier. So I am going to say goodbye for now. I will be back a day after tomorrow to finish up this book, and I can't wait for the conclusion. But I'm going to see if I can hurry up and edit and get this video out at some point today. I think it's like 10 a.m. now. It's going to take a while to edit, and then I got to go through the whole processing and uploading. So I will put out a community post, let y'all know I'm working on it. Hopefully you will be watching this before too much longer. All right, I've got a lot of work to do. I can't wait to hear what you thought about today, and terrified and excited to find out the conclusion next time. All right, that's it for now. Bye.